Hi everyone. Welcome to day 6 of the egg experiment, and I just want to do a really quick recap as to what we have done so far. We took the 3 eggs, we dissolved their shells in vinegar, and then we put those eggs into different solutions, and you can look up on the board and what we have here. Remember, our hypertonic solution was all corn syrup, and corn syrup essentially it's like a sugar. It's a very large molecule, and we sunk that egg into pure corn syrup. Our isotonic solution was a mixture of distilled water, mostly about a cup of distilled water, and a little bit of the corn syrup, whereas our hypotonic solution was pure distilled water, which doesn't have any large molecules in it. So when you think about an egg has a lot of water inside of it, which is not a very large molecule. It's H2O, whereas sugar is C6H12O6, so it's a very large molecule, and it can't go through the cell membrane without a little bit of help. However, water can, and that's what osmosis is. So water tends to travel from areas of greater concentration to less concentration until there's an equilibrium reached. So when you had the egg sitting in that hypertonic solution, there was hardly any water on the outside of the egg. So it actually drew all the water out of the egg, or not all of it, but a lot of the water out of the egg until it reached an equilibrium. And that's why the weight of the egg dropped 40 grams, because it took the water out of the egg. The isotonic solution pretty much remained the same. We did have a little bit of a difference there, but that's because our solution could have been a little bit off. But there really wasn't that much of a loss of water. There was more of an equilibrium already there. The hypotonic solution worked reversely of the hypertonic. And that is because distilled water does not have any other solutes. It doesn't have any large molecules on the outside of the egg, whereas the egg still has proteins and fats and things like that in it. So instead of the water going from the inside of the egg to the outside, it actually took the water and brought it into the egg, and that's why we saw the differences. Now, we finished that whole part of it, and that was really kind of cool, but I decided I wanted to know if we could manipulate the osmotic pattern of what was going on just a little bit more. So I decided to take the hypertonic egg, which was that shriveled up egg, and we switched it. We put it into the hypotonic solution to see if we could now make it suck that water back into the egg. And we did the reverse with the hypotonic. We took that really big fat egg, put it into the corn syrup to see if we could draw that the water back out of the egg, and that meaning that our eggs would be going up and down in size based on the water balances. So it's absolutely amazing what you're going to see. I'm going to actually just take my camera stand over and do that bird's eye view for you again. Remember, the egg that is in this hypertonic solution was originally the egg that was in that hypotonic. So it was the big fat egg. And the egg that's in the hypotonic solution was the one that was really shriveled up. So now if we take a look, I don't know if you can see the difference, but they have really basically reversed their roles in their appearance. So it's really kind of cool. So I'm going to go through this very quickly with you and take them out. Again, I'm going to start with the hypotonic, because it's the one that's in the distilled water. And it's just easier. Well, not easier, but it's not as sticky. How's that? So we'll take that out. Okay, look at that guy. Do you remember what that egg looked like in day 5, just yesterday? It was the one that was all shriveled up. Now it's really kind of tight, just like the hypotonic one was in the original process. It's amazing. This is the one that was all shriveled up yesterday. Okay, actually I'm going to put it out on the plate here. Again, the isotonic one, I'm just going to grab. The isotonic one really doesn't change that much, and that's what we're expecting, okay? It pretty much looks like it did right from day one when we first dissolved the eggshell on it. And then the hypertonic, this is the one that's just amazing. This is the one that had gained 20 grams. This one had gained 20 grams the last time we looked at it. Okay? And again, we're back at a shriveled up mass. Do you remember how big this thing was? It was huge yesterday. Okay, so we can control how things go in and out of our cells depending on what fluids surround them. So let's think about that just for a minute. How does that relate to us? If our cells work the same way, the fluids that surround our cells are going to dictate how our cells behave. So, you know, dehydration, think of those things. It all pertains to what we're doing here. All right, so I'm going to do a quick measurement of these. Okay, because I want to see how much they've actually gained. I'm going to put the information back up on the board for us, and then I'm going to go on to something else with you quickly following this. Okay, a little bit of a challenge for you. All right, so I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to weigh the new hypotonic egg, okay, which was originally our hypertonic, okay. I'm going to weigh this out now, and it is at 100 grams. So 100 grams, so it went from 50 to 100. So it gained like 50 of it back. Let me reweigh that just one more time here. Yeah, it's right on the 100 mark, so that's pretty incredible, okay? And I'll write that in just a moment. Our isotonic, remember, it's been hovering right between 80 and 90, so I'm hoping that it is. Let's make sure there's nothing in the balance. And it's zeroed in. We'll take a look at that. Okay, I'm making sure that you can see what I'm doing here. And that again is right at 85.90 again. So it's reached a balance, 85.90. So we have 100, 85.90. Let's take a look at this thing here. Oh, that thing doesn't even hit the 50 mark. It's at about I don't know, I would say it's about 45.50. 45.50 on that one. So if you remember yesterday, it was 105 to 110. It is now at about 45 to 50. So I want to take this very quickly, and I want to write that information down so we can take a look at it. Okay. So we said this one was at, whoops, which one is it? Yep. So this one ended up at 100 grams. This one ended at, it was right around 85 to 90. And this one was at 45 to 50. So when we take a look at those numbers, sorry about that, I have to bend down here for a second. When we take a look at those numbers, this thing jumped from 45 to 50 to 100. So it went up over 50 grams. It went 50 to 55 grams increase. It's pretty incredible. This one went up, I would say, about 5, okay, which is kind of neat because it lost 5 the first time around, okay, and this one was 105 to 110, and now it was down to 50, so that's actually 60 grams, is it not? Yes, so it lost 60 grams. That's pretty incredible. Okay, neat stuff. All right, so I'm hoping that you're able to try this out at home. I'm going to set this stuff aside because I have kind of a challenge for you now. I need you to do some thinking here. I'm going to put those aside over there, and I'm going to put those over there as well. And I have actually prepared 3 brand new eggs for you. And those eggs I have all ready to go. On a tray that I have from the cafeteria. Okay, and I have cups that are already labeled. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put these 3 eggs, we're going to measure their weights, record it, then put those 3 eggs into 3 different solutions. And the 3 solutions I have is blackberry bubbly, which is a sparkling water. I'm going to read the ingredients to you because ingredients matter. Total fat 0, sodium 0, carbohydrates 0, total sugars 0, added sugars 0, proteins 0. Okay, it is carbonated. So we're going to do the beginning weight or the starting weight, and then tomorrow I will take the ending weight, record the change. But your job is going to be to figure out what type of solution do you think bubbly is. Do you think it's hypertonic, isotonic, or hypotonic? Okay, and we're going to do that with three different things. We're going to do it with the blackberry bubbly, we're going to do it with milk, and we're going to do it with salt water. And what I did for the salt water is I just took a half a teaspoon of salt and dissolved it into some tap water. So there's going to be a Word document underneath the videos or on the assignment list that after you watch this day 6 video, you have to go in and complete the Word document, and it's going to ask you what you think is going to happen to these 3 things based on the liquid that we put them in. And unlike other assignments, there is really a time frame on this assignment because the way that it's going to work is that I need to have your work back to me by Monday, May 4th. If you don't get your work in by then, you're going to end up with no credit for that assignment, because on Tuesday, May 5th, I actually do the reveal of the answers, and you can't submit the work after you've already been given the answers. So let's weigh these out, and we will get them cooking where they need to be. Okay, I want to just make sure everything's in frame again for you. It is perfect. All right, so this first one here, we're just going to take this egg. I dissolved the shells while we were working with those other ones. I dissolved these shells. Okay, that is exactly 100 grams. Okay, that's 100 grams, and we're going to put it in this cup. And I put the labels under the handle so that we can actually see the eggs much better. So this is the blackberry bubbly. Okay, and we said 100 grams on that. That's the start. This next one, again, they are pretty much exactly the same size. So this one looks like it's a tad bit over the line, so I'm going to say 105 on that one. And that one's going to go in the salt water. Okay, 105 on the salt water. And then lastly, this egg looks a little smaller, but who knows? Let's see what happens here. Yeah, this one's at 100 exactly as well. All right, so they're pretty much all the same size again, okay? I tried to pick eggs that were very similar in size when I picked them out of the fridge here, so. All right, so let's do this. This one is the milk. We're gonna pour and by the way, this is a 2% milk. And I should probably tell you what it has. It has 5 grams of fat. It has 12 grams of carbs. It has cholesterol, 20 milligrams, sodium, 130 milligrams, total sugars, 12 grams. Okay, so it's important to know what makes up the liquids in order to figure out the type of solution that we're going to have from it. And that's per cup, so I'm going to fill this up to 1 cup, okay? Okay. Those things I gave you those ingredients were dependent upon a 1 cup measurement, so I decided to put these in cups. So here it is. It's in the milk. Kind of interesting, okay? Here's the salt water. Okay, I'm gonna just stir it around a little bit. The salt water goes in this one. Okay. So we have the salt water one, and now we have the bubbly. Alright. And we'll put that into 1 cup. Ooh, it's fuzzy. Okay. Alright. So they are all, see all the bubbles in there? So they are all in their liquids, and I want you to make sure you get to that Word document and you do the work and submit it to me in Teams, please, by Monday, May 4th, because the reveal is coming on Monday, May 5th. Okay? All right, folks. I will talk to you soon. Have a good day.